Why is security such a big deal?
Security is really important, especially in crypto, to understand what kind of transaction you are signing. That's why your screen is really important.
Why do I need to trust Ledger?
We are doing security and we are using the best security tool to do that. Hi, and welcome to Ledger Open 2025 edition. We just visited the dungeon. I guess you enjoyed the tour, I hope.
Oh yes.
Yeah, cool. Now, I think we can play with the box if you have different questions.
Why is security such a big deal? Does a screen really matter that much?
Yeah, security is really important, especially in crypto, mostly because blockchains are immutable, meaning that you don't have like a trusted third party, a bank that could revert the transaction and give you back your money. If you do something wrong, if an attacker gets an access to your 24 words, it will drain your wallet. If you sign a malicious transaction, the same will happen. You will lose your money. And having a screen is really important. For me, there are two things that are really important: is to make sure that the keys are inside the secure enclave, so that the attackers cannot access to them. And the second one is to, as a user, to be able to understand what kind of transaction you are signing. So that's why your screen is really important. And people who are selling like a hardware wallet without a screen, for me, it's a little bit security theater.
So, if crypto was built to be trustless, why do I need to trust Ledger?
This don't trust verify model. So this one was applied to Bitcoin, and the idea was to say that you can verify the blockchain at home. Like you don't have to trust any third party, any banks, because you can run your node and the node will verify the blockchain, and you don't have to trust anyone. And this is very powerful, and for some reason, like the ecosystem started to think that way, which is great in a way. However, there are some areas where you have to trust, and when it comes to like your wallet, there is an element of trust. It's not really possible to create something that is completely trustless. Imagine you are that way and you want something completely trustless. You don't want to trust anyone. You will build your own device, your own wallet. At some point, you will have to trust the fab that is manufacturing the circuit. You will need to trust the compiler. You cannot verify everything. If you wanted to trust nothing, you would have to recreate the whole technology and engineering that humankind created during like thousands of years. That's not possible. There is an element of trust. In our case, we are trying to minimize it, also to rely on third party so that you don't have to trust only Ledger. For instance, we are doing like security audit with third party that are verifying our claims. Basically, we are trying to do like security in the open. So being completely trustless, it's a bit of a wishful thinking, I would say.
Okay, I guess I have a question that's following up the question. So a lot of my audiences, they're asking for cryptos, transparency is very important, right? And then they're wondering like, why is the code for Ledger not fully 100% open source? And then what's the reason behind it?
This one is a good one. So first of all, those who are claiming they are 100% open source are not exactly saying the truth, because as soon as you are using like circuit electronics, there are plenty of software that is not open source and that is inside the circuit. Even if you do like open source circuits, you have the same problem. And for instance, when you do like open source hardware, what you would like to have is to have guarantee of integrity. Like we like open source because you go on GitHub, you will clone the repository, you will audit the code, compile it, execute it, and you have guarantees that the code that is executed is the one you audited. When it comes to hardware, you cannot have this, because let's say like the whole code of the hardware is open source, you will audit it. How do you know that the circuit that you have in your hand is coming from this code? You have no guarantee in this way. So this is the first thing I wanted to say. Even if we wanted to do everything open source, that wouldn't work at the end. And the second thing is we are using secure elements that are certified. Like security certifications are very difficult to obtain. And there are only a few vendors in the world that are doing this very secure circuit, smart card technology. And all of them don't don't want to lose their IP, their intellectual property. They have built this technology during more than 40 years, and they have a big competitive advantage, and they don't want this technology to be leaked or stolen by competitors and this kind of thing. And so they don't want us to disclose anything about how their circuits are working. Inside their circuit, they have plenty of security countermeasures that will detect fault attacks, side channel attacks, the thing I mentioned before. And this is like a very precise IP. And if we were to disclose to open source everything from the Ledger operating system, you would understand in our code how their circuit is working. And that would be a breach in like the NDA that we are having with them. What we are doing is to try to open source as much as we can. Like all the application that is running on the operating system are open source. Part of the operating system is open source, and we are trying to minimize as much as we can the part that is closed source and that depends on the circuit because we cannot disclose it. And the rest put it completely open source. So this is what we are doing. So more and more the percentage of the code that is closed source is getting smaller. But our choice was between like a general purpose MCU that would allow me to open source all my operating system, but I wouldn't have security, and using like secure element where I have security, but a part of the code I cannot disclose it. We chose this one, and if I had to do this choice again, I would do this choice again and again. What we are doing is security. It's not like a security theater. We are doing security, and we are using the best security tool to do that.
So it was a while ago when Ledger started to talk about the clear signing and pushing it really through the whole industry. So how are we now with this? How the industry is taking it? Now you can look back months already.
Yeah. First of all, it's not that easy to do clear signing because the thing is like the device is completely offline. It doesn't know what's going on the blockchain. So when you are providing a raw transaction to be signed to the device, in order for the device to parse the transaction, it needs to understand what's the logic behind. And as it's not connected, it cannot request like to a different backend to have this parsing. So it needs to have like some description of this transaction in order to parse it properly. So in order to solve this, what we did is the following. We created a standard that requests every single dApp in the ecosystem to explain anyone. By the way, we created like an open standard to give a description of how their smart contract is working. Because clear signing is specifically difficult for smart contract. When it's just send and receive, we are supporting clear signing for a long time. Send, receive, staking, this kind of thing is more simple. But when we are interacting with a smart contract, we are interacting with like an arbitrarily complex program. And so we ask the dApp, the program writer, to give us a description on how their smart contract is working, so that whenever the user is about to sign a transaction, he will receive the whole transaction to be signed, along with this description that allows the device to properly parse the transaction and display it on the device. We explained to everyone in the ecosystem how it was working. Everyone was so happy that we were doing this. Now it's really like getting better. Now we have created an alliance with different wallets, with the Ethereum Foundation, and like now like this really picks up, and we are getting like there's JSON file. And now this is us that are a little bit slow to like verify the JSON file that because we don't want an attacker to add a fake description file, obviously. So we are curating them. We are creating tools so that we can curate them quickly and verify they are secure. So now it really picks up, and more and more the interaction are clear sign. One big improvement that we are announcing tomorrow is the fact that we are going to clear sign Safe. And Safe is like a multi-sig on-chain for Ethereum. And most of the DAO and group exchanges are using Safe and blind signing Safe. And this is how the Bybit hack happened and so on. And so we are solving this problem now. You as a user, as the DAO, as a group of people that are using Safe, you will clear sign this transaction. And frankly, this is a big deal. It's a game changer in the ecosystem, especially for not very less for retail, but more for group of people, DAO, financial institutions that are using Safe. So it picks up. Thank you for the question.
Thank you.
They were spicy enough. And I hope you enjoy Ledger Open.